This news update is brought to you by...
You got an upgrade for Christmas.
If you're feeling lucky, you could win some money.
An upgrade for Christmas.
$200,000 in cash and prizes. With Lime, you could win some money. It's Lime's Christmas lottery. 250 winners this Christmas, oh yeah.
Sign up for upgrade to super fast broadband, Lime TV, e-billing, a data plan. Top up $15. Purchase a handset or text 4263 to enter.
Upgrade for Christmas.
Welcome to the Barbados Today Evening Update for Wednesday, December 17, 2014. I'm Carol Williams. Thanks for joining us. A historic day as a new chapter in the United States-Cuba relations opens. U.S. President Barack Obama announces a landmark deal which will see the two countries building new diplomatic ties after more than 50 years. Declaring Washington's treatment of Cuba as outdated, President Obama announced a major loosening of travel and economic restrictions on Cuba. The two nations will also reopen embassies. Obama stressed that the time is ripe for change.
I do not believe we can keep doing the same thing for over 5 decades and expect a different result. Moreover, it does not serve America's interests or the Cuban people to try to push Cuba towards collapse. Even if that worked, and it hasn't for 50 years, we know from hard-earned experience that countries are more likely to enjoy lasting transformation if their people are not subjected to chaos. We are calling on Cuba to unleash the potential of 11 million Cubans by ending unnecessary restrictions on their political, social, and economic activities. In that spirit, we should not allow U.S. sanctions to add to the burden of Cuban citizens that we seek to help.
However, the economic embargo still stands since only the U.S. Congress can scrap it. Meantime, President of the Cuban-Barbadian Friendship Association, David Denny, says it's a significant day for Cuba and the Caribbean.
I would say that it's an achievement for all of the progressive forces in the world that have been offering solidarity support to Cuba from as far back as the late 1950s. And this is some kind of golden opportunity for us. And we are hoping that, that the United States of America will come to its full senses and would give full recognition to the government and people of Cuba. It's also an achievement for us in the Caribbean.
Continuing with local developments, the judicial manager of Clico International Life Insurance Limited, Deloitte Consulting, is seeking the High Court's permission to liquidate the company. According to Deloitte, it had no choice but to follow up on recommendations contained in its August 25, 2014 report to the High Court of Barbados. It said that it has filed a new report dated December 12, 2014 on the basis that there was no funding for the first phase of a regional restructuring plan for CIL. In other news, a legal bump for Methodist cleric Reverend William St. Clair, better known as the Barefoot Preacher. Today, High Court Judge William Chandler threw out the suit St. Clair filed against the leadership of the Methodist Church challenging his sacking. In his ruling, Justice Chandler said the suit was directed at the wrong people and St. Clair could not sue the president of the South Caribbean District of the Methodist Church, Reverend Dr. Cuthbert Edwards, and 2 other church officials. The church had accused Reverend St. Clair of breaching his contract and ordered him to turn in the church car and vacate the house. St. Clair will, however, retain the house and the car in the meantime. His lawyer, Queen's Counsel Hal Gollop, is expected to file a new suit when the case resumes on January 5. Meantime, the Barbados Defense Force today said farewell to its chaplain. Canon DeVere Murrell retires after 21 years of service at the BDF. He told those on hand at his retirement function at the officers' mess hall that his tenure has been a filling one.
I take my leave. Permit me to thank you for having accepted me as a member of your closely knit family. Together, we have experienced much. The agony that was Archstock and the prison riots, as well as the accomplishment of the fighting new Coast Guard facility and our Central March, to name but a few of the many. Thank you for permitting me to share with you in the celebrations of your weddings. births and baptisms, and to stand by you in the times of illness and sorrow.
Attending the gathering was Prime Minister Frondell Stewart, who threw out a challenge to Reverend Morrell to revive the television program Time to Sing.
I think that that program has such a large following in Barbados and was so valuable a program that it would not be a waste of your time, Cameron, if you sought to revive it. I think that the choirs of Barbados benefited greatly from the exposure they got on that program. It was wholesome programming on Sunday afternoons, very good church music. And when you hosted it very, very well. And it is something you may want to think about.
Crowds of people today descended on the city headquarters of the Salvation Army for its annual Christmas hamper giveaway. The country's head of state, Sir Elliot Belgrave, and Lady Belgrave won hand to help in the distribution. Sir Elliot says he is particularly pleased about the generosity of the public in these challenging times. Public Relations Officer of the charitable organization, Major Denzel Walcott, says this year's crowd was smaller than previous years.
This year the crowd is a little smaller because there are other organizations who are also meeting the need. Are you surprised? Surprised at the crowd being smaller? I'm happy that it's smaller. I can't say surprised, I'm happy that it's smaller.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Hi, I'm Red Plastic Bag. Anyone who knows me knows I don't like cold. Sunshine reigns in my country. I love it.
Get your sun power.
Regional news now. CARICOM leaders welcome the new chapter in U.S. and Cuba relations. St. Vincent and the Grenadines Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves described today's event as one of earth-shattering proportions, while the government of Jamaica describes it as a quantum leap. The Portia Simpson Miller administration contends that the move by President Barack Obama will record him as righting a historic wrong. And on the international front, an outpouring of grief in the Pakistani city of Peshawar, which is burying its dead after Taliban attack at the school killed at least 132 children and 9 staff. Gunmen had walked from class to class shooting students in what has been deemed as the country's deadliest attack to date. More in this report.
Mourners crowded around coffins bedecked with flowers, after candlelit vigils were staged overnight. Gunmen had walked from class to class shooting students in the Pakistani Taliban's deadliest attack to date. PM Nawaz Sharif has declared 3 days of mourning over the massacre, which has sparked national outrage. He also announced an end to the moratorium on the death penalty for terrorism cases. World leaders have also voiced disgust at the attack, which even the Afghan Taliban have criticized. It is a very eerie atmosphere. These are premises that should be alive at a time of day like this, to the sound of hundreds of children who studied here and began school as normal yesterday. But it is desolate today. The army has been working through the night to clear the premises of explosives.
And that's where we end our Barbados Today evening update. We'll be back again tomorrow morning. Until then, log on to www.barbadostoday.bb, subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook. You can also catch us on Izumi Media in bus terminals or screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. Also tune in to Channel 101 on Lime TV to get all the latest news and sports. I'm Carol Williams. Have a great evening.
This news update is brought to you by
I won for me to me.
For me?
Yes. You don't need speakers, right?
Upgrade to win every week with Lime. Sign up for Lime TV or broadband or purchase an iPhone 6 or Samsung Note 4. Upgrade Christmas with Lime.